Hey folks, goes watching the triple Qs right now. There you go. Sorry about the echo. Watching triple Qs right now. Yes, I still have my Eagles. We won. Jersey on. Just looking at the charts. This is the triple Qs. I did take a trade, got stopped out because it just kept running up right around PDC the previous day. Closed line there, the white line. Yeah, I mean it's just going up. Unbelievable. So CPI data came out. CPI data was not good. It actually was very bad. It wasn't even, it wasn't even near expect. It was like well beyond beyond what expectations were in a negative light. So that's what the big drop is here. This big red drop was like a shock to the market. But then the market has been doing what it's been doing for the past year, right? It's been, or 2 years, been buying the dip, right? The dip is there. They're buying it. I don't know who's buying it, but they're buying it. So this is where, we talk about this in our Discord. We talk about this with our members. We talk back and forth as a community about, doesn't matter if it's earnings, doesn't matter if it's bad CPI reports. We used to get bad CPI reports and the market would react in a way that you would expect it to react, or you would get earnings reports from companies and they would react in a way you think that they should react, which means to whatever direction. If it's positive news, they beat top and bottom on revs and earnings, stock goes up. That's not the case anymore. We have recent earnings come out on some of the big tech names come out, and it'll shoot up for a minute, then it sells off like the next day. That happened to Apple before. They had good news, went up, sold the whole thing off the next day or next 2 days. So it's hard, and we get it. I get it. It's just hard to read the market when it's all over the place like this. When you get news like today and you get actually get a reaction to it, and then it's like it never even happened now. The market moved completely back up here and pretty much engulfed, almost fully engulfed. It looks like it fully engulfed. This is a 15-minute chart, the pre-market on triple Qs. Now, the SPY, similar activity, right? Except the SPY has not reached that topping point yet, and it may not. It's almost power hour time, which is 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Doesn't look like it's going to get that completion. So now is the question of looking at power hours when things really start to change, when investors really start to make some moves on the market of what direction they really want to go. If they want to hold this is a nice uptrend here. The daily chart, this is my 15-minute chart, daily chart. It's a 15-minute chart. Normally this would be like a 5-minute chart, which I can switch to. But I wanted to show, because it's just a huge move. So we're going to wait for power hour, kick in from 3 to 4, and see how the market reacts. And the best move, the best move on the market is really to just to wait, especially when CPI day, any big news day. We have PPI, I believe, coming out tomorrow. Any big news day like this, the best thing to do is just wait till the next day before you take a trade, because you'll get stuff like this. The expectation clearly happened. This is basically no follow through. The market didn't follow through what it started in pre-market, and they're buying the whole thing back up again. It is what it is. So we'll watch this. We'll see how it reacts. If it can actually break what we call a key level here at 529.22, which is from this big drop here. You see we got a rejection already, trying to break above that line. Now we're still making higher highs, higher lows. These are all the lows, right? Higher highs, higher lows. I mean, I think it can break it. The trend on the day is up from the time the market opened at 9:30 down here. The trend is up on the market. So we'll see if we can get a break above this, maybe go test out 530s. One thing about the market, you can have a bias. I mean, try not to have a bias, but you can have a bias. The information, and rightfully so. Like I said again, if ER is good, what you as expect as an investor is to invest in that, into that equity, into that stock, because you think it's going to go up because they're doing good. The balance sheets look good. You can't lock in on those expectations on anything in the market. It's just not how the market is. You can't lock in on it anymore. What you have to do, the move might be later down the road, but it's, or not at all. It just depends, because you can have strong earnings, guidance might be okay. The overall investor market might say, okay, well, the guidance should be better than that, and they're not going to care about the earnings report. They're just going to just take their money out the position, because the long term, remember, the market is always, if you don't know, it's always looking in the future. It's always looking 6 months beyond into before they make trades into the market. So you have to think like that if you want to be a good trader, if you want to be a good investor, if you want to understand the market. And it can be a bit frustrating if you don't really know all of that. Especially if you're not patient, because then you start losing money. So again, we're looking here at QQQs, because the QQQs actually did go up and did tap that gap that it created in the morning. It did completely fill that back up, and now it's rejecting that key level at 529.22s. That's the key level I have here, top of this red candlestick from the drop that I had when the CPI news data came out. That was horrible, by the way. That data was very bad. And here's another aspect of trading. A lot of people only have setups and trades that go up in the market. As you can see here on the left, and actually I'll switch this one to a daily chart. This is the daily chart on the QQQs. Activity right here is active. Choppy, like it's all over the place, right? But there's a trend here. There's a trend line that is formed right here on the QQQs in this area. Okay, so it is downtrending overall from a larger view. Zoom out to the daily chart, weekly, you'll see this trend. We've had a couple pushbacks, right? Bought it up, push it down, bought it up, push it down. So it actually started a trend line here as well on the QQQs, right? So, but then it broke out. Trend line breaks. Hit the top of this, created this big gap down here, and it's been trying to break above this trend line ever since. But the area of the trend line it's trying to break is right here. This zone kind of has some false breakouts here. It's not able to really clear this zone anymore, which is between 529 and 530. So the line is really within this zone area now. Markets are at all-time high. We created an all-time high here around 530, 540. And put something on that. Here we go. 530, 540s. Yeah, around 540s area. Not able to reach that. So if you think about the market being near all-time highs, right? Especially on the SPY. SPY is definitely on all-time highs. Go there real quick. You know, their all-time high was 610s. We've been trending down, right? There's a trend down here. Trending down. Now we have this big push up from this big sell-off. There's a major trend line here as well. It used as support. Now, if you were get into candlesticks, so you get into like some of the lessons we teach in the trading course we have. If you get into our Discord, we talk about these things all the time. All the members in there, they're professionals, beginners, professionals. They understand this part about what we teach, or what I teach in the trend lines. Understand how to mark up charts. If you don't know how to mark up charts, you're not going to be a successful trader. Every trader must know how to mark up charts. You have to know how to read patterns. So knowing that, you know, this was a trend line here before, it came down, and look what it did. It used it as support, pushed it right back up. Now, go back to see what's going on here. I see some movement. We're in power hour now. Actually, I did not mean to do that. Here. Oh. Okay. Trying to pull back a little bit here, rejecting that area. Let's go back to the 5 minutes. Go to the 15-minute chart. Yeah, it's still unable to break this area. It is unable to break above that line. We're getting close to the session to end at 4. I know we still have a lot of earnings that comes out this week. Trending down here. May reject this area. This is a lot of energy push up from this massive sell-off. But again, we are in extreme. So going back to go to a weekly chart, right? We're still trending up since August of last year, before August of last year, ever since the Fed paused, basic pivot, then the Fed started cutting rates, set the market up even more. You have AI, the whole FOMO around AI era that we're in, sending the market up even more. So we're at highs, 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 but there's a lot of data out there that's countering this, that even analysts, there's reports coming out in the news, news articles all over the place talking about analysts just don't know what's going on with the market. Why is the market up like this? Go back to the interest, go back to a little lower level here, time frame. That's the 15-minute. Let me zoom. Yeah, they're asking questions. Nobody really knows. There's a lot of exuberance in the market right now. I mean, you've been making money for 2 years straight. Market's just been running, especially last year. We really made a big push up in the markets last year. So people are happy to have a lot of money. 401ks or TSPs are all flying really up. So individuals, why not invest? Why not buy the dip? That's what works, right? Buying the dip has been working. But you have to know exactly what area you're in. And if you look at this chart here on the left, I'm not going to bring this up here again, but it's still down. You're still downtrending. You're unable to break above this downtrend line. I will bring it back up. Let's see here. You're unable to break above, this trend line here, right? You're just really fighting it. You're fighting and failing, fighting and failing, fighting and failing. So the market's been really slow during the sessions, kind of moving slow in a direction or just moving sideways most of the time over the past couple of weeks. A lot of information now. We got a new president. They were trying to figure out what he was going to do. There's been tariffs talks going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with tariff talks. And that's just been kind of the market, right? The market's just is just really uneasy right now. But at the same time, we still got data coming out. We still have a lot of information about AI. There was a company, AIFF, we saw yesterday, shot all the way up because investors, and there was something about neuroscience and AI was mentioned, so those things are directly affecting stocks, and they're sending them up here, here, and there. So the question is, how long is this going to last? How long is the market going to run up? There's a lot of overvaluations on equities, a lot. There's uncertainty on tariffs. There's bad inflation data, which changes the narrative, right, of the predictions. Those have to be all recalculated now, right? The dot plot may be different coming up soon. The information regarding, okay, are we going to cut rates? Might be a problem. If the Fed's probably seriously looking at that, saying, might not cut rates. They already paused, and then we got this extremely hot print today. There could be talks of raising rates, and that may cause some issues. But for me, this is what I'm talking about for myself. From an investment perspective, shaving a lot off, right? Putting a lot in the cash. Already done that because made my money, right? The market's been running up. It's been a great bull run. And now we're running into a lot of headwinds. And you have to be cautious of those headwinds. You have to know what you're running into. You have to understand that, you may be this market may turn a different direction. And the question you ask, do you know how to trade? If you're a trader, do you know how to trade in a down market? Do you know how to trade in a bear market? And if you don't, you might want to learn that. And then ultimately learn how to not be biased for the market. You know, what we do in our trading community and our members, you know, we teach to be a trader, not to be a bull, not to be a bear, but to be a trader. Be able to trade in any market direction. And in order to do that, you have to learn how to read price action. In order to learn how to read price action, you have to understand the basic foundations and intermediate tools and obtain the skills you need to be able to be a successful trader. That's what's in the course. We teach that in the course. Like, you learn the basics. Yes, you're going to go through a candlestick lesson. There are things in there you just probably don't even know if you even think you understand candlesticks and patterns and how those things are important. There's a VWAP masterclass, right, to understand VWAP and using that as a strategy / indicator / trade tool that you see right there on my chart, which is the yellow line there, which is a VWAP, the value weighted average price. Important to understand it, especially if you're doing intraday trading, which is for, right, intraday trading. Understanding moving averages, the key ones, the prime ones that the industry uses. Understanding how to know when the market, or just try to understand by reading candlesticks or price action, possibly when the market is going to turn. Understanding support and resistance lines and trend lines and things of that nature. Like, all this stuff is taught in the course. All this stuff is covered in depth for expert level inside of the Discord, inside of the classes, the webinars that we try to put out and do, that we actually put out and do, answering those questions, because we generally care about people and care about you guys being successful. That's what for our members, that's what we care about. So right now we're watching, oh man, this thing is really fighting it. It's 313. I'm looking for a strong move soon before the close. It is really rejecting that 529.22 level. Let's go ahead and see what the SPY is doing. Let's see. SPY is let me see, 1 second. Yeah. Answer the question here. Okay. Now, so yeah, SPY is struggling too. SPY is definitely struggling here. Drop this down to a 5-minute chart. Go. $603.72 on the SPY. Starting to come down. It's really trying to hold this level. This is amazing. Good activity. But see here, this key level is 603s. It's trying to use it as support here, on a pullback to 603 from 604.20s. See what Tesla's doing. Tesla's just been on a tear, but look at Tesla's been getting beat up too over the past couple of weeks. I mean, Tesla's really, look here on the daily chart. I mean, Tesla's really gotten beat up. Came down into support here in this area around 325s. Let's see. Take a look. We'll take a look at the video soon too. But yeah, Tesla. I mean, it's due for a bounce. It's due for what we call a technical bounce, right? Tesla can definitely bounce right now. I mean, it was due for one anyway. Even though the market was going down, but the market popped back up. Tesla's reports were terrible on their last report, so it warranted a lot of the sell-off here. One thing we like to talk about is gaps. Gaps get filled. We all know about that. Actually, I can probably take all of these lines off of the chart. Don't really need them. I don't know where everything is anyway. Doing this for a long time. Here you have a gap. And you know, we always say the term is gaps. Gaps got to get filled. All gaps got to get filled at some point. Tesla's at this critical level here because if it did break 320.50s completely, talking about 300s, you know, I had a target on 325 anyway. Kind of hit that in pre-market overall when I was shorting this from 400. So got my target, but you know, it still has a gap to fill down to 240. So that's the next target overall on Tesla, especially since Tesla hasn't been really doing anything from a company perspective. And then you start thinking about how investors are looking, how his focus is now on the administration, Doge and all that other kind of stuff. Right? His focus isn't really on Tesla or Twitter. He's focused. I mean, he's sleeping up in there, what I heard, in some of these buildings or whatever. Focus on Doge. So his attention is not on Tesla. His attention is not on X. Now, mind you, he has people that works for him that manages those companies pretty much. But at the same time, still, earnings wasn't good. Their stuff is not good right now. So Nvidia, let's take a look at Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia is. It's been chopping sideways all day. This is all chop. All of this in here is just sideways activity. It sold off with everything else, pushed back up to a top of the range here, high of day, 132.23s, and then kind of just chopped around all day. Right? Hasn't gotten above it. The low of the day, which is here, 129, came nowhere near it. So it really created a line here. I was saying the area 130s. 130, 35s. It's kind of been bouncing around there all day. Now we look back over VWAP. Amazing. So I don't know if the market, the thing I'm watching for right now is to see how the market comes into the close. Does it close even higher, right? Is the SPY still moving up? SPY broke below that 603.67s line. Qq's, you see it still rejecting at 529.2's area. Kind of coming down a little bit more. It tried, failed. 528. The thing I'm watching out for here is if it comes down to 528 here. 528's there. Let's see what happens. BDC is what we're watching at 528 on Qq's. If it comes out here, use it as support. If it does break below, that's very bearish. That's a bearish indicator going into the close. Here. AMD's not been doing good at all. I mean, this thing, look at this trend. Really getting beaten up. 165 highs, just been selling off ever since. Trying to get above this 112. I mean, it's really consolidating here. This is all consolidation. Trying to break up and fill this gap. I mean, this thing is creating gaps everywhere. Gap here. Still a little bit of a gap here from 120s, like the 122s on AMD. AMD's really, really nice move up today, but it sold off with everything else, right? Because of the CPI report, and everything's got bought right back up. Apple's been just all over the place. I think this is what's been leading the push back up today in the market. Don't know why. There's no catalyst for this for Apple at all. It was in consolidation here, right? It was in consolidation in this range from 227 to 232. It finally broke out today and filled this gap up. So now the gap has been filled. 236 is, right? So that mission has been complete. Talk about gaps being filled. Look at the gap here. Gap got filled today. So if the gap got filled today, question you got to ask yourself, okay, where do we go now? And it got filled on no catalyst. There's no reason for Apple to be up running the way it's running right now. People are just buying it. I don't know why. Can't explain it. Especially with the data that came out, and especially that there's no news of Apple coming out with something, and maybe something's internal. Maybe we don't know about it. Not sure. Especially when you look at stuff like Amazon, selling off and sold off today. Why is Apple going up? Don't know. So I think Apple is leading it. And the reason why I say that is because Apple has the largest market share. One of the largest market shares between Apple and Nvidia. They've been battling back and forth for a while now. So not sure what's going on with Apple. Q's are still holding up. SPY still holding up. Nvidia, let's take a look at the king. Yeah, it's just chopping side. It's interesting because I expect, Power Hour got his name for a reason. Power Hour got his name because that's when you saw strong moves and follow through in the direction that the market wanted to go in. So even if it was a little choppy during, from 9:30 to 2:30, or you come into 3, from 2:30 to 3, you come into that, it started moving in that direction. Having this, and this has been going on for a couple of weeks, if not months now, this choppy activity inside of the market hours has been kind of strange, actually. Especially when you think it's waiting on data to come out today. Data came out today. It did not like the data clearly with this big drop here, but then it doesn't accept the data. So then what it appears to be. So like what I said earlier in the stream, talking about how the market reacts the following day, or next couple of days. You kind of got a reaction instantaneously. There was no follow through, and then you get this. So we have to just wait and see how it wants to close. But what I was going to say was it's almost 3:30. You normally would get a reaction by now. You normally would get some decision by now, and it appears the decision, if we continue down this path, is there's no decision, especially with Nvidia at least. With Apple's all over the place, and the reason why I'm saying that is as it goes up here, sells off, goes up. Now we got higher, fill the gap here. There's no catalyst for this. I'm very cautious about this move on Apple. It is an unexpected big move on Apple to break out of this consolidation, which is bullish, by the way. Breaking out of a consolidation to the upside is bullish, and then completing the gap, bullish. Now that that's done, it could either turn back around, come back down this way, or it can continue to go higher, try to hit the next level. The next level I'm looking at on Apple upside, if we break this level here, if we break above to like 237s, would be 240s would be the next level on Apple. Right here, that would be a target of 240. That has a lot of resistance in it, so I would expect a little bit of a pullback, especially from this. You got a little gap here. Well, not really a gap. You got a little move here, right? A strong move today. And then if you push up to 240, where there's a lot of resistance, I would expect some type of pullback there to take profits if it continues to move up in that direction. And then, if something happens where, this thing's on a mission for it to possibly break, if it can break above 240, go 247 to try to test out that 247s area, next level up here, I would be looking at as a target. Netflix, you know, Netflix. Netflix has been on a tear. Unbelievable Netflix here. Unbelievable. But there is something it left that I will always keep my eye on. I have another chart program I use. I got like 2, 3 other chart programs that I use for certain reasons, but Trading View is a great chart, by the way. They're not paying me. I'm just letting you know it's a great charting program. There's a gap. Gap's got to get filled. Don't know when this gap's going to get filled. This thing can probably run to what? Anything, right? Can continue to go up for a long period of time. At some point, it needs to come back and fill this gap. Don't know when. It doesn't have to, but it's just how it is, because they left an area of trading unaccounted for, so to speak. Amazing. Amazing. Netflix. All right, let's check out the triple Qs again. Interesting. Chopping around. I think this might go higher. I think this actually might go. They could shoot this up. I know that happened on Friday. It just kind of consolidated and it just chopped around and it shot all the way up. This may go to 530s if it can break above 529.22s. The one thing that has me concerned about the markets today is the volume is just not more volume today than yesterday, but the volume hasn't been really all that great in the market. Volume is low, 20 million. That's not strong volume for like a commitment, or I'm committed to this buying. I'm committed to this trend. Like that's not commitment to me. It's a lot, but it's not a lot, right? Like here, there's 60 million on this one. We've been consistently running at 20, 15, 20 million on the triple Qs. The SPY, and I'll talk about the daily volume. That's just the day volume. The intraday volume is SPY broke below the 603.58, going down. Trying to pull down here. $330 on the nose. On the nose, 329, almost 330 on the nose. SPY's pulling down. Broke that key level I was talking about, 603.71s. My target now, what I will be looking for, this is a key level here, right? It's consolidation, so that became a key level. The mark, right? And why is that? Look at that. There's a pivot area here, right? Key level. We got confirmation on that. Talk about that in the courses as well. Pull down to 602.53s. That's my first target would be on here for there. And then I would be really concerned about 602 on VWAP here, where current VWAP is at. Breaks below there. That could be bearish into the close. We just have to wait. Got to be patient. Got to wait. Qs are starting to follow a little bit. Qs are still fighting it. We'll see if Apple's probably still trying to go up. It's really holding those highs there. No movement on Apple. All of this area here is all consolidation since here we go. Consolidation since about 225, 220. Been chopped sideways there. Video starting to move up. Yeah, video starting to move up. 330. Yeah, we're still choppy. We're still very, very, very choppy. I was expecting more. I was hoping for more. Tesla's starting to Starting to take off some little bit. It looks like it's taking a little bit off here. We're going to watch this area here on Tesla at 344s. See if it pulls down and breaks below 344s. Let's see. Yep. All right, let's take a look. I'll pull out my disc. Okay. Yeah, we're just chopping around here, guys. Not doing anything. Chopping around. Just waiting for some type of action. If we get it. Now on Tesla, if Tesla closes kind of where it's at right now without pulling back down, highly likely I'll be looking for Tesla for a gap up tomorrow morning or tomorrow before the open, and then possibly push higher. If Tesla closes down, if it actually pull, because the market, like, it gets like near the end, like sometimes it'll get to 10 minutes and make like starts going crazy, and the volatility starts going nuts, and the volume starts picking up massively, and then you get like a big move in a direction. And if it does pull down and like kind of like sell some of this off, then I'll be like, okay, I would think that some of that would be possibly tomorrow, and it might not get that gap up, but if it pushes up into the close, that could happen. Nvidia is looking like it's ready to make a push here. It's still sideways activity. It's still sideways or consolidation all day, or a move in what direction we don't know. You have to wait to see. Right? A lot of green days here on Tesla. I'm sorry, on Nvidia. And it's in consolidation, so could be flagging for a move up. Now Nvidia definitely has a gap to fill. Been talking about this in the members Discord. Big gap to fill here on Tesla. Starting to fill it. So I would say the gap was like here. It's actually consolidating inside of the bottom of that gap, but still has a gap to fill. The 142 has not been done yet. And if anyone can fill the gap up, it's definitely going to be Nvidia. But every day is a new day. Every day anything can change. Every day something could potentially modify any decision. That's why it makes it. That's what makes the market exciting. This is not that exciting when it starts chopping sideways like this, which I said has been doing for a while now. We need to see some activity here. It's 336. Still no decision on the market of a clear direction on Nvidia. Take a look here at back to the SPY. SPY still chopping around sideways. Really, I mean, it's been, and now we're creating a range here. Really, I'm gonna go back. I was here at like, I'll say 12 noon, but honestly, yeah, it's about 12 noon. It's been just sideways. Still chopping around sideways here on QQQs. Look back at that. Let's look at Google. I haven't looked at Google today. With the Google, same thing. Google sideways activity, just chop. Microsoft. Oh, Microsoft's been trending down. But Microsoft has a huge gap to fill as well at some point. 17, almost, that was 17 points. Gap fill needs to happen on Microsoft. Microsoft chopping around sideways too. All right, QQQ is starting to break down a little bit. I'm seeing a downtrend, but still, that's just on a 5-minute chart. Still no confirmation yet. Again, I would like to see, I would get confirmation of downside if it breaks. It's 528 and breaks below 528. But again, this is what we talk about in our course. This is what we talk about in our Discord. Is like key levels matter. Key levels are so important. If you didn't mark this key level here at the top of this gigantic, pull, as a market is buying itself back up, this is going to be a strong area of resistance. Because it hit it here in pre-market, it was a high, got rejected. It tried here again, it tried here again. It just kept failing that key level. But that key level is also historic in nature, right? Historic. I'm gonna come back to the market starting to pull down. 529, right? So if you look here, right? Give my little thing. I think I still have. Right? In December, we hit that level as resistance. And then it became support the next day. That's number two confirmations. You got it as support here back on still in December. Another confirmation. Support, right? It's a strong key level. When you look at that and you say, okay, if you draw it back then, you would have had this line in your chart. You can move it around and but it's dead smack on, right? In that area. So it's a key level resistance, a key level. It's a level that has proven over history that prices reacted. There's sellers, there's liquidity there, right? There's buyers and sellers sitting there. At this point, it's definitely sellers sitting there. Definitely some sellers. Still no real commitment. This is a 5-minute chart. Right over the 15, you see the difference, right? There's no real commitment to move it down or to move it up. It's just chopping around side. Let's see. Go back to Tesla. Tesla was breaking down. See, there we go. Tesla's breaking down. Tesla is breaking down. A lot of activity, volume's picking up. And that's what I was talking about, volume on the SPY and QQQ. Tesla's doing 88 million, right? Which is still not really, it's good volume, good volume. But see how we pick up, it's 340. We're picking up toward the end of the day, inside a power hour, late in the power hour. And that's a telling sentence, right? The market's moved up. Tesla's not doing good from a company perspective on last report. Trending down. Trend is your friend. Popped up today. This could go a lot lower. CPI data is horrible today. It is not good data. They're probably going to. We're going to see what the PPI data, and maybe that's what the market is. I'm assuming that's what the market is waiting for, because it does do that before it makes a final decision on something. And you may get something Friday. You may get a move on Friday versus even tomorrow if the PPI data comes out in a certain direction. If the PPI data stamps the approval of the CPI data, I think we may see a strong move to the downside in the market, an extremely strong move to the downside in the market. Tesla pulling down more here, coming up on VWAP, volume weighted average price. Hughes is doing, let's see, not doing much. SPY not doing anything. Apple's probably, yeah, doing Apple, going up higher here. Nvidia starting to still dancing on top of VWAP, starting to come down a bit here. All right, Nvidia is getting right up on that line of VWAP. $343, about 17 minutes left before the market closes. Wrong market. Triple Qs are starting to come down to that PDC area. Looks, see if it bounces. So far, it's holding above it as support. See if it breaks that down. See what my SPY is doing. SPY is doing the same thing. Kind of follow. They do follow each other. See if we come down to the support area here at 602.50s. I saw P-Time has some stuff going on today. They got a large gap to fill here down to the sevens. Wanted to take a look there real quick. Moving on earlier today. Real spot coming down a little bit more. Triple Q just broke PDC, folks. Triple Q just broke below PDC. Here we go. See what happens. Should we get confirmation? I will be looking in this, yeah, 527s, 520, 60s, 527 area. That's going to be a key area to watch out for. There's been a lot of support around the 527s. 527s can break below that, and here at 526s, with the last 15 minutes of the close of the market, and we can see probably a strong move to the downside. This could hold and go back above PDC, which means they're holding this level. They're holding the upside trend here on the day, and potentially tomorrow we may see a gap up and push higher. But if we're watching this now, 15 minutes left to go in market trading. Very strong market. Very strong market. Inflation data didn't really, I mean, basically didn't even affect it. Had a big push here during the data and then shot right back up. Very strong market. Tariffs didn't affect it. Strong market. He has earnings after. Today we have Cisco earnings after the close. Robinhood, we got Robinhood, we got Reddit, we got APP, Hubs, Bro, BRS, IREN Energy, Iris Energy, KC. We have Quantum, which is a big one to watch. Equinix, sorry, it's going to be a big one. Yep, after the close. So the main one's going to be Reddit, Cisco, and Robinhood after the close. Watching those. Bigger ones tomorrow. In the morning, you got Hertz, Iron Mountain. They're pretty consistent. Honda, GEHC, a couple other ones. Deere's been really consistent. Deere's, even during the pandemic, Deere was still making profits. Deere was doing great. Sony tomorrow as well, and a couple of others. After the close of some of the well-named, some bigger ones. Coin, going to be watching that one. DraftKings, Roku, definitely watching Roku. Airbnb, maybe you want to watch. A couple of others, but yeah, those are the big ones. Win is definitely a good one. Watch out for tomorrow. But yeah, after the close today, just these. We got Robinhood, Cisco, and Reddit. I'm watching, keep my eye on those. Coming down more here on the SPY. Triple Qs. Yeah. But no real strong push, right? It's 10 minutes left. There's no real strong push. It's really been a lot of consolidation the entire time in power hour here. I mean, most of the day, like half of the day, really has been consolidation. But really more so in power hour, even down to almost the last 10 minutes. We got about 12 minutes left before market closes. Regular session market close, right? Here. Yeah, this thing is looking like it's looking real strong, like it's going to hold on, may even push up. We only got 10 minutes left, so looks like, folks, we're going to consolidate into the close. We did get a little bit of a pullback here. Wrong market. Got about 9 minutes left. Close today. I'm just picking up as usual. This looks bearish actually on the buy. Starting to make lower highs, lower lows. Yeah, definitely since noon. Got a high here, low, high. Well, we didn't make a lower low here, but there's a lower high. So the expectation that it does make a lower low. That's pretty much a bearish move into the close. Qs look bullish still to me. Yeah, this is still bullish to me. Only way it changes again if it breaks below that 127, then this is, you know, kind of like what happened today. Like this all here warranted the CPR report was horrible, and then but at the same time, a lot of liquidity was grabbed during this process that was used to push this back up. Again, no follow through to the downside. Follow through on a day on the intraday pre-market. It looks like follow throughs to the upside so far, with only 8 minutes left into regular trading session. Yeah. Oh, Tesla. Yeah, Tesla is looking bearish. I mean, that whole, I don't even know why. This right here, move, could have been, you know, following the market, and then investors are just selling this thing off into the close. Tesla may have more downside tomorrow. We'll watch this 330 line to see if it breaks below that 330. Thing is really selling off right now. So one thing I like about Tesla the most out of most equities is that it moves in big ranges, right? You got, was it 346, we're at 330, I mean, 336 now. 10 points already within, you know, 30 minutes. If not less time than that. It definitely moves in great, and move in big distances, which is good for your risk reward ratio, right? You can risk something, and then like the reward could be massive because, you know, 3 to 1, if not 4 to 1 on Tesla, because of the amount of the range it has during any time during the trading day. Tesla has a great range. Okay. Yeah, I think it looks like we're just gonna consolidate, chop into the close. Not really going anywhere. Just kind of just chopping around, really. May even push up. I mean, I've seen it. 5 minutes left. All right, let's do. Yeah, we're just going to chop into the close. No strong move up, no strong move down. They want to keep price where it's at. But I could be wrong. I mean, it's like 4 minutes left now. I mean, anything can happen. All right, see if Apple's still doing Apple. Yeah, look at Apple. Apple is, I just personally just doesn't make any sense. But go Apple. That looks very strong into the close. So my expectation on Apple tomorrow is Most likely gap up. But the thing is, before the market even opens tomorrow, PPI will be out, and we don't know what that data is going to look like, and that can affect the markets, at least short term, like it did today with CPI. But Apple, I would be expecting for this to move up to that 240 number, and it could do that overnight, or it could do it in pre-market. So just watch out for that. We got, after the market closes, you have another 4 hours of trading, and then you have pre-market tomorrow. So you could, I mean, Apple could definitely, the way it's trading today, this strong bullish move on Apple, it could definitely move up. That's that 240, if not higher, overnight. That's what I'm looking for on Apple. Nvidia again. Nvidia still nothing. I was really expecting Nvidia to already, or I'm still expecting it at some point, like again, to go reach that above that 140s area. Yeah, like 140, 142, 141s area. So right now we're consolidating. Well, I think we'll consolidate more, and then I'm looking for a break above that 135, because you're already in the gap from 129, right? It already broke itself into the gap. Now we're looking to fill that gap up to 141 and 142s. So hopefully soon. Right now we're just watching for consolidation. You know, at any time I get an alert that Nvidia goes up and it breaks that 134.50s and the one getting near that 135 areas, above 135s, and I'll get interested. Right now I'm not interested in anything that Nvidia is doing right now above between, I would say, between 129 and 135. I'm not interested in trades with Nvidia, because it's in consolidation. I don't like to trade in consolidation, because you just get, like today, chopped around all day. So the best move for me is to wait for a confirmation of a break out of consolidation that I know in whatever direction, it doesn't matter. As long as it breaks out of it, confirms it, that's the direction I want to go in with the trade. All right, folks, 1 minute left. And we consolidated. We didn't move, except for Tesla. We consolidated into the close on the SPY and QQQs and Nvidia, and it looks like Apple as well. Yeah, Apple's looking for a move up tomorrow. That is a strong move on Apple. So no movement and no strong move into the close. We didn't get it today. All right, folks. Like, that's how we're going to end. We're going to end in consolidation. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm Hank SixFourTrading. Thank you for watching. If you're interested in joining our member community, links are in the links are in the description. Of course, everything, all that's in the description. Trade safe, be patient. I want you all